right. Well, we're in Franklin, Tennessee now. So let's backtrack a little bit. We started out in Lebanon, Tennessee, 30 miles east of Nashville. We proceeded to North Nashville, then West Nashville. And now we're in Franklin, which is 20-25 miles south of Nashville. So as you can see, on a day, we do get around. And we're pulling up on what is hopefully going to be our last call of the day. We're swapping out a Goodman warranty compressor and accumulator. So I didn't actually diagnose this problem. Jonathan was over here on a maintenance call for these people. And sure enough, he starts out with, fairly decent looking pressures, decent looking superheat, decent looking subcool. And about 20 minutes into runtime, all of a sudden we're, running a 50-degree superheat, 50-degree subcool, 20-degree evaporator coil. So we know something's wrong, and it's something that's not happening immediately. And what we finally tracked it down to is basically accumulator failure. We've had a couple of these Goodman systems that have done that already, where, I have not been able to get 100% feedback from Goodman on this. I don't know if we're the oil and the refrigerant is separating in that accumulator, or if something's breaking inside that accumulator, or what exactly is going on. But it can be traced down to accumulator failure. But we've also had a couple of these where we popped an accumulator in it, and then all of a sudden the compressor is not pumping it like it's supposed to either. And in fact, this compressor was severely overheating the other day. We took a little temperature on the top of it, and it's running like 295 degrees. So just to be safe, it's a warranty issue. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and replace the compressor and the accumulator, filter dryer, pump all the refrigerant out. And then once we're done, of course, we'll go ahead and pressurize, evacuate, and recharge the system correctly. So we're here. Here we go. All right, we're moving behind the building now. We're getting all set up. I've got my apprentice, Mr. Jonathan, with us. And then we've got our rookie intern, my nephew Riley, out here with us there. Today they're in what we call Uncle Kev's School of Hard Knocks, which, by the way, Jonathan's been in for quite a while now, and he's about to graduate. Ain't you, Johnny?
Yeah.
Getting close to graduating, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. Riley's got a ways to go. Let's see if we can see Riley. There he goes. Mr. Reclaim Jug, Mr. Reclaim Machine, doing the thing. Is that heavy, Riley?
No.
Not heavy. I didn't think so. Riley, I want you to get that cord and ran somewhere. How did y'all get into the building the other day?
It's downstairs, front side.
Okay. So what is this right here? This door right here? This office you're saying is down on the front side. Okay. Well, where was the other office you went into?
Upstairs, on the front side too, right above it.
And that, is this the one with 2 units?
No.
This is the one that only had 1 unit.
Yeah.
And the other one's got 2 units on it. Where are those 2 units at?
There. And then
Where?
right there.
That one's one of them?
Yeah, that
Oh,
one.
God.
And then I believe it's that second frame right there.
This one right here.
Yeah.
How come y'all didn't put a sticker on it? You said you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, every call you've been to in the last 2 weeks, you're supposed to put stickers on it. Go get stickers. Put a sticker on that. And be looking for somewhere to run this cord to. Okay? Alright, John, just what you want to do is get the top off, yeah.
I know, I was looking to see where my...
Well, they come out of the top there, right? Look, right here. Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Brown. Purple.
Yeah.
And black. Bam, just like that. Yeah, and they come out of there, so you're gonna have to cut your wire ties loose. Cut your wire ties loose. Yeah. Yeah, we cut the wire ties loose, we get that off. we'll start pumping this dude down. So Johnny's unwinding the condenser fan motor for us. He's got the screws out of the top here. Riley stickering the units. I tell you what. Let's put it on the disconnect on that one, because we didn't put that unit in, right? So put it on the disconnect because we serviced it. Did you find your wires, Johnny?
Yeah.
And then you might, if you've got the wire ties cut loose, probably easier just to pull your top up and off now, because it'll pull those wires out of there for you.
I gotta plug through the hole.
You got to pull it through the hole?
I gotta plug through the hole.
That one down there first. We'll get this one when we get done. But that lets the guys that own these offices know that those are the units we serviced. You see what I'm saying? If it don't look like it'll go on that switch, Riley, then you might have to put it on the equipment door over there. I don't know. I can't tell what the disconnect looks like. You're there. Look at it. It's a real simple equation. If it looks like your sticker will fit on it, then you put it there, and if it don't, then you don't. Right. So then we'll just move right there. Yep. That didn't require any mathematics, any subtraction or addition or anything. There you go. Bada bang, bada boom, problem solved. There's a key on that one. You see. So what I was trying to get to is there a way for us to get in one of these buildings right here where we can plug up some power to it?
I know you want me to knock on the door?
What? No, I don't want you to knock on that door. We don't know these people.
Yeah.
No, I'm just was asking if one of the buildings right here, there's some kind of key right there. You see?
Oh, yeah.
It's right there on the
That was
disconnect.
here the other day.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was what we was using or
Yeah.
not. Gotcha. So, let's see what we got going on with our recline machine here. The jug. I think it's pretty good. Let's see. What was the last thing we used that jug on, Joe? Get that thing on out of there, young man. Work it out, work it out, work it out. There you go. There you go. Yep. Yep. So this is a twin rotary. You gotta take that nut off the top of it right there, Johnny. I think that's, I wanna say that's like a 3/8 nut. You got a 3/8 nut driver?
You got 11:30 seconds.
It might
Oh, I
actually
got
be the
3/8.
11:30 seconds. I thought you had a 3/8. Yeah, nice, beautiful tool bag right there. Is that what it is?
Smaller.
A little bit smaller? Try that 11:30 seconds.
Smaller.
5/16. Yeah. Bam, look at that. Smaller than that?
Yeah. Try a quarter.
No, a quarter's too big. Too small. Did that work?
No, it ain't even tight.
Wow. Well, yeah, what we need is, oh, did it come on off?
Yeah.
Well, typically you do just want to hand tighten that down. That don't need to be over tightened. But interestingly enough, this is very similar to that little RV compressor I worked on for Coon, but it doesn't have the over limit switch in it. So yeah, go ahead and grab your needle nose. Let's pull those off of there. You know, red is for run, black is for common, and then that yellow is our start. Yep. Is that the Mondo? Yep. See, this one, the twin rotary compressor actually has its own accumulator. But I don't, because this is the pipe you saw freezing up from here to here,
from
right?
right there, yeah.
So yeah, this is what's going to end up being our problem. I have no idea what Goodman has going on with these damn accumulators, but I mean, this is probably the third one I've done in the last couple of years. All right, so what we want to do is cut that wire tie and get that wire off of that. Get it completely off of it. Go get the torches. We need nitrogen, regulator, torches, vacuum pump. We need the whole shit and caboodle over here. Refrigerant scales, The whole damn truck needs to be over here, basically. Look at Riley, go, go, go. First thing you gotta learn, how to get the tools, what tools we need, how to be getting ahead of the job. Yeah, but then he wouldn't have to walk as far.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying.
You know, I mean, that's part of the journey today. There's no need to be just standing around. But once we get him over here and show him where we need everything, we gotta find power. I need another one of them little jumper wires is what I need.
That thing's hot.
Yeah. Has it been running? Did we leave it running?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that right there is the... So you left the thermostat on?
Yeah.
Johnny is getting the crankcase heater off. Did you get it, buddy?
No.
Hurting
Well,
you?
we just ate.
Oh, you got to throw up?
Felt like it.
Is that pea sauce coming back on you?
Yeah.
Man, we just had a great lunch. We had salmon patties with pea sauce. I had corn. Johnny and Riley had mac and cheese. I had fried okra. The fried okra was awesome. Much better than sushi or pastries or whatever else this stuff is some of these YouTubers are using. We like Southern food, don't we, Johnny?
Yeah.
Remember, you got to hold that latch back. You have the latch. Watch out.
What, you talking about that?
Mm-hmm. You got to hold it back towards the screw. But, yep, there you go. There you go. Then it'll pull apart. There you go. Yep. Now what we want to do when we put it back, Johnny, is hold it towards the other way.
Yeah.
Push it all the way through, and then just them last couple of notches you have to crank down on and untighten it, or tighten it back, excuse me. You'll probably have to wait till we get it all unwelded.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it ain't going to come off right now. And I don't even know that we need it all to come off right now. We just need it loose so that when we pull the compressor out, it's good to go.
You want me to go
So
ahead
yeah,
and
let's go ahead and
unloosen
start
the compressor?
unloosening the bolts from the compressor. We're going to do that real quick. We're going to go ahead and start. I got to find power real quick so we can get this reclaim machine going. You get that out, and then we'll go from there a little. So we've ran into a little conundrum here. We did not have an electrical outlet anywhere close. And yeah, I had a pair of jumpers that I used forever, but just don't like using those anymore, man. They're dangerous, and guys end up getting in there and shorting stuff out on your contactor, or even worse, to themselves. And we don't want to be using employees as a ground. So yeah, we typically just run a cord, and you know, there's usually an outlet somewhere close, but here at this office building, there's not an outlet anywhere close, so we're running a marathon of extension cords right now. You see I got John Jizzle back there trying to run one. Riley, I think I'd probably use this one. It's easier to roll up, yeah. Yeah. Poor Riley. Running these cords is just killing the guy, man. He's just killing him. Hey, Riley! 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 Can you hear, buddy? Can you hear? That looks like shit. String the cord out and roll it up like it's supposed to be rolled up, dude. What in the world is that? Look at that. Pull it all the way out until it's all the way out. That's why you're not rolling it up right, because you're not pulling it all the way out. Let the cord go. Pull it all the way out to the end. Now let it go. Let it go. Don't touch it. trained. Good? Good, good. All right, folks, so what we're doing now is we are getting ready to cover the refrigerant out of this machine. Got our gauges, we got our reclaimed tank, which we're about to be running some water on so we can try to keep it cool. It's about 89 degrees out here right now. And then we've got our actual reclaim machine. So what we want to do is we're going to open everything here except for the input valve. Notice it says close input valve for easy starting. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to purge the system. We're going to get it sucking through there. And then once we do, then we're going to open up the third side gun. Go ahead and get that hose under our tank somehow up for us, buddy, without squirting me. Yep. Hopefully we don't have to use any ice. So that's a good purge. Now we're opened up. Now we've got something to go. Man, if you use like that back hook or something, Johnny, you can get it to stay in there, you see. That's quite a bit of water pressure.
Yeah.
So maybe what we'll do is, this is going to hold my phone. If you ain't going to be able to just hold it on there and 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So we got to come up with something. Anyway, there we go. We got our reclaiming, got our jug keeping cool. Hopefully 20, maybe 30 minutes or 4 hours that's out of here. And then we can get this going, compressor. Yeah. That's that black thing down there, John. That black thing
Yeah,
down
I
there.
see what you're talking
Got a
about.
little cross going on it right now. What did you say it was at first?
Filter valve.
What line is the filter jar always in, Riley?
The small line?
Small line's not the correct answer to any question on the test. What line is your filter jar always in? See, you're not seeing it because you're not looking at the outside. Just think about the outside. What are those lines called, Jonathan?
Liquid line and suction line.
Okay, well we just said one of the answers. What line is the filter jar always in? The liquid line. It's called a liquid line filter jar, right? So follow that liquid line on in here and tell me where the filter jar is. Right where? What color is it?
Blue.
Blue, I got you. Because it's in the liquid line, right?
Yeah.
Right. So then now back to the original question. See, this is how you do process of elimination when somebody asks you a question that you don't know the answer to. You eliminate the questions that you do know the answer to, right? So we just eliminated a question you knew the answer to. So let's go back to the original question. That black thing that looks like a filter jar, what line is it in, Jonathan? What?
Suction line.
This is your suction line thing. This is the bigger line of all the lines, right? That's the line that sucks refrigerant back to the
But that would
compressor.
still be my liquid line.
No, it's not. Liquid line flows in between the condenser and the evaporator. That's the liquid line. The liquid line doesn't flow anywhere else. It flows between the evaporator and the condenser. So what is that line? There's 3 lines on any system. I've taught you this many times. Remember I told you that Daikin uses a 3-pipe system where you send the liquid, the suction, and the other thing. Just like on the ice machine. Remember that ice machine condenser over there at Sadco? How the compressor's on the inside with the ice machine? So that the 2 lines that are going outside, one is the suction line. But the other one, excuse me, one is the liquid line. But one is also the discharge line. This is the discharge. This is the hot part before it goes into your condenser. See, so if it's in the discharge line, it's called a muffler. That's the baffle the sound of the system. That's a muffler. Alrighty. We're getting very close. Jag is still very cool. Machine cranking along. So we're still trying to get every bit of juice out of here. Our accumulator, of course, is holding some juice, so we booted it up a couple of times trying to get everything out of here before we're putting the torches in this thing. Or, yeah, we'll suck in a bunch of fumes and choke to death. Riley is on a mission for drinks. What's the temperature out here, Johnny? I say 89. 90. Damn, you got it right. You should win the best drink award. There's a Gatorade. It's all yours.
I mean, one water.
So we got the two stooges here. Riley, what are you doing over there, man?
I'm holding up these wires.
You're holding up them wires. Wow. Was you breathing in some toxins over there?
Yeah.
You were? Yeah? So we got the accumulator out. We got the filter dryer swapped out. I'll show you those ones just so you know we ain't lying. Actually, that's a new one that we just threw down there. So we didn't have to swap that difficult ass fucking Goodman dryer. Excuse my language. I'll have to bleep that out. So we didn't have to swap that difficult Goodman dryer. Yep. No, just kidding. We actually did swap that dryer out. And now we're about to pull this compressor out of here. And Riley is actually going to hold the camera instead of holding those wires now. He's a good man. He's a good man. Johnny, let's get that accumulator over here, sir. Get that accumulator over here, sir.
Needle numbers, how we get those out?
Mr. John Jizzle having trouble getting these things out of here.
Riley, you don't get to commentate on my channel, man.
Oh, okay. What are you doing over here, Uncle Kev?
Adjusting our braze a little bit. That was a little bit too much. Alright. Look at it, get a good shot of that. Yeah, that's that Wendell Smith right there. Hard at work. Wendell Smith, hard at work. Johnny, what's going on, man? Rubber seal fittings are kicking Johnny's rear end over here, man. There we go, John. There we go. I like it. I like it. Let's make sure that pipe ain't hot no more. No, don't feel like it. Don't feel like it. I'm gonna get that screw at the bottom of there lined up. Always tricky. There it goes. There she goes. There she goes, mate. That thing just screws around in there several times. Alright. About it. So what I like to do is take this and go ahead and bend it back past that. That way when it goes in there, it's actually in there like I need it. I knew that was going to happen. The copper tends to bend a little bit when you pull it out of there, but that should be good for me to actually be able to. Oh, that's still sitting tight. for me to actually knock down in there. Let's take that so it's got a little work on that right there. Yep. We'll bend that one back down in there too. Alright, got a little braze going through there. Alright, Johnny, when I heat it up, you'll knock it back in there, then I'll weld it in there. I will weld it in there. Sorry, Riley. Alright, cinematographer guy over there, make sure you get good shots of this place. Live action, live action. What's going on our YouTube page? Not me, brother. It works.
Which one do you want to do first?
Let's do that one a little closer to you. Let me get in there and heat it up real good. Gotta melt all that solder again. I don't know why there's so much solder on that one before. I don't look like a fairly new compressor and accumulator. I don't think they swapped that, but that must have been the factory weld. Alright, knock it in there a little bit, Johnny. There you go, bang on that thing. There you go. Now, hold what you got. There's damn near enough solder on this, I don't need nothing else. Yeah, I'm basically just reusing that solder that's already on there. Yeah, you can just melt it down into place. Alright, let me see. Move your hand now, Johnny. Yeah, let me get that back little corner. Alright, now. Oh, I missed a little spot right there. Where it's still so much of it, it's just running all over the place. Alright, let me get this one heated up, John Jizzle. Alright, should be good. There you go, bang it in. Alright. Oh, that's pretty good. Getting too close.
Put this spot right here.
What spot?
Right there. Yep.
Got it. We got it. Alright, I guess this would be real easy over here. Yep. I should have just left the torch running, my bad. You didn't turn it off, did you, Riley? Good man, good man. Should have just left that torch running. Let's get this on ready first, Johnny. Push cars on. Where's our new compressor?
Right there.
Yes, and it's that wheel right there. Alright, let's try about close, Johnny. Hold on, don't break. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Keep it up and off there for a second. There we go. Alright, let me try this way. I'll fill you in, Johnny. I'll fill you in. Don't be close. voila, boys, voila. Voila. All right, let's let that cool down for a second. Riley, you cut. Got them feet in there, John Jizzle?
Yeah.
All right, good. Let's get this thing over and get it in. It's holding pressure. Got our dryer in, got our accumulator in. Be careful when you roll in here. We got to make sure we get our crankcase heater wrapped back in and around there first. Riley, feel free to help him if you want to, buddy.
Just move those on the way.
These wires.
Yeah.
Comes on over quite a bit more. There you go, Johnny. Get it on over to where the feet go. All right, there you go. Riley, hand him the feet. Or the bolts for the feet, excuse me, right over there in the thing. Yep, work that back down and around. Bada bang, bada boom. Gotta pull it around this back clip. There you go. Remember what I told you. Pull it in and push your lock back and pull it all the way as tight as you can, and then lock the lock on it, and then you can tighten down with your screwdriver from there. You understand?
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. Let it pull through all the way tight as it will. Now don't get too far around. You was over here with your lock, it seemed like. That's right. Right about there. Push the lock back. You understand what I'm saying? You're not pushing the lock back, Johnny. The bolt is the lock. It goes back and forth. It'll move back and forth. And as it catches, it keeps the thing from pulling through. You got to push it to make the ratchet come through.
I'll see.
We're working on getting this compressor back in here now. Finally got the crankcase heater back down and on. If you ever had to put one of those on, it's a nightmare. Riley, yeah, our reclaimer can go up. We need Johnny's vacuum gauge. Okay, we need a vacuum gauge. And we can put this old compressor and accumulator in the box. I want you to mark the model serial number on the box. One thing at a time, Riley. I'm just talking to you, okay? Leave that. Go put the reclaimer up. Put the reclaimer up. Yeah, put this in the box, put the compressor in the box, and we'll write the model serial number on them, okay? Boy, it sure would be nice to have that long extension I had for 20 years. Man, see, I used to just do them right here, Johnny. Look. Oh, start videoing them. We're doing a pressure test right now. So we're gonna also go over the terminals on the compressor, so that we know, really it doesn't matter what the wire colors are, but the wire colors do give you some semblance or some representation as to what they should be. Typically on any system, you know, we have common. We're not talking low voltage common. We're talking about common on as far as a motor schematic.
Yeah.
There's always going to be what we call a common wire going to the compressor. And typically on that, your common wire, common means that it's common to the motor. It means that the motor has it at all times.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be sent to common.
Yeah.
Okay? The common is just always there. Typically that's going to be represented, you do it, by your black wire. Now, if we get down real close, these are definitely a little bit harder to tell on this one, but hold on a second now. Where's our cap that was on that compressor? Remember the black cap?
There's a black cap in the box over there. There's one right there.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. That goes to the compressor. So that gives us an even better indicator of what we're doing here. So if we put that down on there, see how that shows us?
Yeah.
That this is start, that's common, and that's run.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, so we know common is back here on this back terminal.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to put the black back to there. I'm gonna tell you, it's got to spin around and come around all. No, son. No, son. Exactly. And it's got to go right there. The pipe's hot still above you, so be careful. There we go.
And then
There
our
we go.
start was
We
the
want to
red
make sure
wire.
that's down on there. Sometimes I'll even take a needle nose and go, yep. So red is run.
Yeah.
Now, again, if we were to take and make those all black wires, if you traced them back to there, you would know this by the fact that the common is on the unbroken side, okay?
Yeah.
Red, or the run wires, are always on the broken side of the contactor, okay? So again, yeah, that's going to go down to run. You had it right. You had it right to begin with. It goes to run, to that back terminal. Yep. And so those are our two hot legs for the compressor. We've got the common and the run. That's our two, each 110 volt leg in there. And we've got a 110 volt leg in there. Got another 110 volt. That makes our 220, 230. And then this is our start wire. This is our leg that is being generated by our capacitor for means of actually starting the motor in the compressor. So without that third leg, you can have the two power legs all you want. Dang it, hand me that, Johnny. But if you don't have the start leg, then it ain't gonna do diddly squat. What we wanna do is bring them down over there just like that. Now where's that nut at? There she goes. You crossed over there.
Can see if I had it on there straight.
Yeah, and this ain't got to be like super duper locked on there. We just want it down tight enough that the cover won't pop off of there. Then we need to go back over here and get our, well, there it is right there. Pipe's still a little hot. Our reversing valve wire. There we go. That's our reversing valve. So right now, we're holding at about, that's a little under 150. So that's step one, pressure test. Step two, we'll go up to about 250. We're definitely done with our torches now. So we got the compressor back in, accumulator, pressurized. We're actually evacuating the system as we speak now. Don't look at my dirty windshield, but you can see Johnny and Riley are actually over putting the topper on. We're pulling a vacuum on it. Yeah, I'm taking a break in the truck where I got air conditioning. Feels great. Well, it looks like we got this. Johnny says our gauge is down to 320. We've ran this through a couple times, plastic. Man, but I love when it just sucks right down like it's supposed to. That's gorgeous. Didn't need any fancy hoses. Same vacuum pump I've been using for 10 years. Nice vacuum gauge. Let's cut it off and see what's good. We're already dropping. Man, this thing is tight. That was very weird. It's like my whole gauge just reset or something. But either way, you can see it's not rolled, it's dropped back. We had a gauge literally just jumped up immediately. Like it cut off and then cut back on or something. That thing's got a short in it or what? That was weird. Alright, anyway. Let's go ahead. Alright, put this on there. Look at mine.
You gonna weigh that first?
No, not really. Remember, there's an empty jug. an empty jug. Put a vacuum on it.
Yeah.
And so all we've took out is what's in there.
What's in there, right?
So we're just going to dump it back in there. I probably should have purged that right there. I didn't. But yeah, we're going to let that all drop back in there as much as it'll possibly drop in there, Jonathan.
Right.
And then we'll go start it and go. Right. Vacuum gauges can go up. Vacuum pumps can go up. Extension cords can go up. Hold on, Johnny. Let's put the gauge, the stuff on there. Now take your gauge off. There you go. There you go. Smile, Riley. Let's go get the extension cords. Riley's our extension cord guy. Hey, I don't want no tangles in the cords, man. Get them nice and tight, just like we did that last one. We're still dumping in there. Yeah, you can see our gauges are flipping around a little bit. Yep, let you know refrigerant's flowing in there. And again, we just sucked into a clean jug. Exactly what we had in the system. So the system was not low on refrigerant. So we're going to try to just get this dude to just run like so. So here we are. We've started this unit back up, and full disclosure, we've been working on it for quite a while now, probably another 30 or 40 minutes, looking at a few different things because, man, we're just having some real oddball issues with our refrigerant pressures. First of all, when it starts up, man, it takes this thing 15, 20 minutes to ever really settle in to its pressures. So, I mean, like right now, for instance, we're running, I'll show you the pressure. Probably about a 20 degree coil, about a 75 PSI on the VAP side, 100 degree coil, 320, 325 on the condenser side. But eventually this thing will actually settle on in, and it'll be up somewhere in 125 to 150, running a 40 to 50 degree coil, and the head pressure will just slowly climb its way all the way up to 550, 600. So we've recovered some of the refrigerant out of the system. We've got the suction pressure back down, and keep in mind we just really weighed back into this system exactly what we pulled out of it. And we've got the a vat temperature pretty good. It was running about a 36, 38 degree coil, about 70 degrees in there right now. And but our superheat was still pretty high. We were at about a 68, 70 degree actual temperature, line temperature over there. So we're continuing to look at this. We've actually contacted our Goodman rep over at Ferguson's to see what he thinks about this issue, because certainly it gives some indicators that there's a restriction going on here. And much like some of the other Goodmans that we've had, that actually ended up boiling down to the accumulator. And but maybe that's not what exactly the problem is on this system. So or maybe the system's just simply completely overcharged, you know. So we're still doing a little bit of diagnostics on it. We're going to probably, the funny thing about it is it's cooling enough. This is such a tiny, small little space in there that it took it from 73 to 68 in about 30 minutes. So the system actually satisfied. We're getting about a 14 to 15 degree delta T, but the fluctuation in the pressures out here and superheat and subcooling is just kind of mind baffling. But anyways, we're going to continue to look at this for a little bit, but from there we'll probably wrap it up. If you like our video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. Complete Comfort Solutions. Alright, so we're back out here today for a second try at this repair in Franklin. Yesterday we replaced the accumulator, compressor, filter dryer, and once again we were getting similar symptoms. Funny thing is, 2-ton on about 500 square foot here, and it's still pretty much satisfying the system inside. But we've got ice buildup coming off of the accumulator as if the refrigerant's not sucking into this LG twin rotary compressor that has its own accumulator attached to it correctly. So we've consulted with Goodman and they don't like it either. They've had a lot of issues with this compressor, so they decided to give us a brand new unit. We're of course into 14 SEER 2 now, so to make sure that it meets up to the 14 SEER 2 qualifications with this existing air handler from 2020, we've got to put a TXV onto the system now as well. So the first thing we're going to do is go inside the building here, make sure everybody knows what's going on, make sure the system will stay running long enough for me to get this thing pumped down, because we were able to actually pump it down yesterday. So let's see if we can get most of that refrigerant pumped down into this old condenser. From there, that thing's trash. We're going to flush the line sets. We're going to replace the TXV and the outdoor unit and see if we can't get this thing resolved.
You close the small side first.
No. Yeah, you do close that small side first, excuse me. So, crazy enough, man, this thing is satisfied in there at 68 degrees. And it also appears to be kicking the low pressure out. Oh, buddy. You're going to have to move the hose out of your way, Jonathan. Move the hose out of your way. That's right.
I got it.
No, you don't. Move the hose out of the way. And that way you can, because once you get to cranking, you got to get it done fast. You'll have to immediately jump over there to your low side. So, yeah, yesterday when we went to pump this thing down, it wouldn't pump down. Typically, you see your low pressure just start falling and falling and falling. But basically, our low pressure stayed right at the same thing, which tells me there was no refrigerant on that side of the system because it's not sucking it back. Okay, give it a second. Yeah, crank that a little bit. But yeah, let's give it a second now, John. Stop on it now. Stop now. And we'll wait till we can start seeing it try to pump down. And
It is right now.
yeah. Just let it all fall down. Yeah, see, there's no refrigerant on that other side. It is pumping down, but all you're seeing is the head side fall because there's nothing on that low side. Very little. The refrigerant's not sucking through correctly. Wait a second, buddy. It's still, I mean, we got to get it all the way down to 0, you know. You got quite a ways to go. Yeah, so just leave it alone. It's not, typically it would have pumped down a lot quicker than this, you see.
Yeah.
But it's just not, it's not sucking correctly. So, it's amazing to me that this system keeps cycling on and off on low pressure 1 minute, and then, you know, we seen it yesterday cycle off on high pressure because it got up to 600 PSI on the high side. But somehow or another, it's still satisfying the thermostat. Now start cranking it down. Now start cranking it down. Yep, all right. Let it ease a little bit more. Let it ease a little more. There's every little bit of it we can get out. Typically, I wouldn't want to keep going too far because we're putting the compressor under a lot of strain. But right now, we're getting rid of this compressor, so we're just trying to get every bit of it out of there we can get out. All right, crank it on off, John boy. Well, we about got it now. We about got it now. This combination of LG compressor with a, you know, has its own accumulator plus another. I'm not so sure about that combination. And I've seen it actually work in other applications, but Goodman themselves doesn't seem to feel real good about it. So, is it tight?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. There we go. Disconnects off. System's pumped down. Yeah, you can just see that whole line right there going into that accumulator. It's completely iced over. And I mean, that's not completely uncommon when we're moving or pumping down systems, but at the same token, I just don't think it's sucking the Freon out of that accumulator into the compressor. And I think that's exactly what the problem is. And even with a new compressor and accumulator, it's still doing that. And of course, which is going to cause your refrigerant to stack up in there and cause your head pressure to go high or cause your suction pressure to go low, one of the two. So we're going to go ahead and start making some movements to get this dude out of here. Where'd Riley go? There's the extension cord man right there doing a fine job. Say hi, Riley. There you go. He actually said hi that time. You see that? He's doing better. There you go. It's open. It's open. Simple task, buddy. Turn the power off to the air handler. Power off to the air handler. Typically, we'd have some kind of disconnect in here, wouldn't we?
This plug right here?
I don't know. What does that go to? Does it go to the air handler?
No, it goes to that.
Goes to the condensate pump. Gotcha. So I gave you a key a minute ago. I said unplug it.
Yeah.
So probably the thing to do would be find where's the power cord coming to the air handler at?
Right here.
Gotcha. Now stop. Don't use your left hand.
Right.
Use your right hand. That's right. Exactly. Wiggle it on out of there. Pull it out. You got to give it a jerk. There you go. We just killed power to the air handler. And the reason you want to do that, Riley, is why? Because our low voltage is being powered by the air handler. So when Johnny's about to take that loose outside, we don't want him to arc something out and blow the, there's a fuse in here, it wouldn't blow the transformer. But still, we'd have to come do more work then.
Yeah.
You see? So we just simply turn the air handler off once we got it pumped down and we're good to go. Okay? All right, let's go back outside and help him. We're gonna come in here, me and you, and swap this TXV out real quick while he's working on that condenser outside.
Did you already?
Away we go. Riley's gonna show Uncle Kev how to change out this TXV real quick, ain't you, Riley? Come on, Riley, let's go. Get a little pep in your step. Riley's a young man. I was watching a video last night on Facebook, and it was talking about taking your 16-year-old son to the grocery store in the year 2023. Oh man, I should have shared that. Did I share that with you, Riley?
I don't think you did.
I should have shared that with you, man. It reminded me of you, man. He was trying to buy these crazy flavored Takis and all this different stuff, and every time he said something to his mom, it's, come on, bruh. All right, first thing we got to do, tell me what we got to do, Riley. I'm just joking, man. Grab that wrench right there. You're going to take that nut loose. You're going to take the nut loose from the liquid line. This is our liquid line, and that's where our metering device is at, right inside there, which right now it's a piston. We're going to have a lot of problems getting this thing in there, as tight as that is. Hopefully, to God, we're going to be able to do it. Yep. Get it down. Get it tightened onto there. Make sure it's at the right. And so you want to get the wrench on there correctly. You don't want to be twisting sideways and end up twisting our copper all messed up, okay?
Yeah.
So let me show you one time. See how you're back there on it? Loosen your wrench up, come right there, and tighten your wrench down, okay? To where you got good torque on it, okay? And then it's screwed off in there. You see those two screws?
Yeah.
So you really don't need a backup wrench, but again, you can't go Cameron crazy on it. You understand what I'm saying? You got to just, bam, a quick little turn like that. Now it just spins right off of there. Now it just spins right off of there. Pull that whole line back and off of there. That's right. All right. Now the thing that we're actually swapping out right now, Riley, is we're changing this fixed metering device. See, there's a hole inside that, and as it pushes backwards and forwards inside that slot, once it pushes that way and slams forward, it forces the refrigerant to go through that little small hole right there.
Yeah, it opens.
See it? Yep. So think about it. Now it doesn't open up. That's a fixed device, okay? You got this much liquid, okay?
Yeah.
A whole tube full of liquid coming in through your liquid line that's going to force itself into that small little hole right there, right in the center. What do you think is going to happen when that much refrigerant tries to force itself through a small little hole like that?
Well, it's not going to go.
It's going to fly. No, it's not going to want to go. Exactly. It's going to build the pressure up on the refrigerant trying to force its way through there. And when it does, it builds up the temperature and it flashes into a gas. So this liquid's actually going to flash off into a gas, okay? The difference in a fixed metering device, this thing pushes forward and it's got that hole, and that hole can't change on a piston. But on this TXV right here, by it being able to sense the line temperature. You know how when we measure superheat out there,
Yeah.
we sense the actual line temperature. We put our clamp on it. That's
Yeah.
what that's doing. That's sensing your line temperature. Okay. And
goes
this
on to-
is sensing your pressure. Okay. So this is going to tie on and sense your pressure. Okay. And by knowing the line temperature and the pressure, which it can then equate to its saturation temperature, it knows its own superheat. So it has a device in here that allows that to open and close. It has a hole inside there that opens and closes and adjust how much refrigerant can go in and out according to what the superheat is. You see, this is a non-fixed component. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of the TXV. It's not fixed. It can do different things according to the parameters here.
Yeah.
You see, so that's what we're actually doing here. And then, yeah, realizing that, we're going to have to actually weld this little doohickey on there too, so that we can put our actual pressure tube on there. This is your pressure equalization tube. Again, it tells the TXV what the pressure is. By knowing that and by knowing the line temperature, it knows what the superheat is. Okay? So guess what I'm telling you is pull your pocket knife out, that nice little pretty pocket knife, and open that thing up, and you need to get in there. It's a tough little tricky little task too. So get your pin, your needle of that right in there and try to grab the bottom of it and pull it out of there. You got to grab on the bottom. You're pushing underneath it. Push down on the bottom of it. There you go. And just yank back on it and pull it out. There you go. Try hard. Try hard. Try hard. Now you know Uncle Kev has no patience.
Almost got it.
Yeah, it's a tricky little task, but you just gotta. I pulled it out of there. Yep. See, just like so, but you didn't get it. So it's gonna push back in there now on you. You gotta get it to fall all the way out. There you go. Almost. Almost. All right, give me one try. Hope you didn't like wedge it. Now it's spinning. Man, if I had my needle nose in here right now. Hold that, Ralph. There we go. Just took two hands. Took two hands.
Back part, yeah.
All right. Keep filming us, Riley. Let me get this out a little bit. This is the part I'm most concerned about because we have no room. We have no room. We have no room inside of here. Definitely want to make sure we get our seals out of here. There's two seals because there's two sides to this valve now. Just like so. So what I'm doing right now, Riley, is I'm actually just testing this out. If it's gonna fit in here, then good. And if it's not, then we might have a problem. The problem might end up being that we got to keep this piston because if there's just not enough room here to shut the door, then we have no choice now. And there's nothing we can do. Did you just turn my video off?
Yeah, I was stopping it.
Why?
Thought you didn't want them to be too long.
Dude, I'm recording for YouTube now. Turn the video back on. Is it recording? You're a good man. Come on, Riley. All right, let me see if I can shut the door. Back up, Bubba. Here's the ultimate test. Dun.
Perfect.
I can shut the door, so we can do it. All right. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So, Riley, I'm going to show you a couple of quick things here real quick. There's a seal already on that side. Let's do this. Let's use the new seal. That one popped up in there pretty good. All right, now let me see these 2 inches. So remember I told you before, that one's kind of acts as your lock nut in behind it, okay? It's screwed in there. You were supposed to be doing this, man. Well, it's all right. Did that come off of there? Uh-oh. What in the world? Man, this thing just keeps getting to be more and more and more. I hope that this thing is not stripped back here. No, it's on there. Okay, good deal, good deal. Must have just not been on there 100% to begin with. So this is where we want to tighten it down, Riley. But you don't want to be He-Man on it, okay?
Yeah.
It's got a lock nut in behind there. We'll pressurize everything. Make sure we don't have leaks. But you also want to put a little bit of torque on it, you know? And this one's that valve, I don't want it to turn, so I got to hold back against that valve a little bit. And then once I've gotten to that point, I'll then tighten down on it real good. Because now I'll slip off. I'm trying to put so much torque on it if I don't tighten it up real good, you see?
Yeah.
Bam, there we go. That should be good and in there. That should be good and in there. I was actually able to scoop this air handler back about 4 or 5 inches too. Or else this wouldn't have shut. And I don't even understand how that's shutting. Because dude, that is past. But I guess as long as it's not past that, we're good to go. All right, so now, Riley, we do have to have a backup wrench right here, you see?
Yeah.
Because if you don't back that up right there with some good backwards torque, then this will definitely twist off. And that's pretty tight already, but if I over tighten it, it'll completely collapse that 90 right there, okay? So you just, it's a feel thing. It's a feel thing, it's a making sure it's good and tight thing, but what we don't want, once we know that we've got that amount of torque on it, we're good. We're good. Again, like I said, we'll come in here and test this thing. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get my knife right here. Because we gotta do some doing over here now. We gotta do some doing, boys. So what I'm gonna do is do this thing that slice right here. Slicing it right there. Rather than short videos, man, those are my gram and my TikTok videos and my Facebook. We're YouTubers nowadays. You didn't know that?
I forgot.
We're YouTubers, man. We're official now, buddy. I finally made time to do that. So yeah, what we're gonna do is go get the copper cutters from Johnny. Hold on a second. I didn't say yet. Why they would make that with only one coupling side. So I'll need a coupling. I need to get me one of them fancy swag tools. But no, what we need right there, that should fit in there. And we need one coupling and the torches. Okay? All right, so we've got the new condenser tied in. You got the low voltage in yet, Johnny?
No, I don't.
No, we can do that while we're evacuating. We've pressurized, we've got the TXV in, we'll go show you that. We got Riley working hard over there, dude. We made this boy run a cord. I don't know, what is that, 200 foot of cord?
Probably about 200 foot.
It's about 200 foot of cord for the second day in a row. He liked every bit of it though. He thought it was enjoyable work is what he told me. All right, hold on, turn the vacuum off. Wait, come on. Oh,
Power
so,
button.
okay, I got you. All right, let's open up over here. Johnny likes to open his up all the way, all the way, don't you, Johnny? There we go. We'll tighten that back because we've had that. All right, go ahead, Johnny. Start pumping her on down, Bubba. Start pumping her on down. Go ahead and open up our mask for a minute. This is Ava. We have a shipment. Please call us back. Yeah, I think what it is, I got a message yesterday from Carrier saying they were shipping something to Complete Comfort Solutions of Wilder, Tennessee, but it was coming to me. And I looked that up just to make sure those people aren't called Complete Comfort Solutions, and they're not. It's Complete Comfort Systems out of Wilder, Tennessee. So Carrier's trying to send something right now to my house
For them?
for them. Yeah.
Is it Riley?
So Riley, nitrogen can go up. The torches, they can get all wrapped up beautifully and put up. Let's see if you can do that again. In fact, set that right there. Let's test you real quick, Riley. Set that right there. Let's see if you can remember from yesterday. This is about our 5th attempt, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if Riley can remember how to roll up the torches. I think he's getting it, man. Look at it. Now he's tightened that thing up. I really think he's going to get it this time.
I think he's going to get it.
Did he do a single loop around it? Did he do a single loop around
No,
it?
he doesn't.
You got a loop. You got a loop around. Yes, I did. I showed you that. That's what creates the tension with the string. Pull it around that way. Exactly. Johnny, help him out, buddy. Help him out, buddy. No, you don't. You already loosened the cord up down there. You got to make it where it pulls tight against it, so that it pulls that way. Look at that. Look at that, son. Look at that. Something happened? Somebody got stung by a little sweat bee? Somebody did?
Yeah, I did.
Where did it hit you at?
Right there on my neck.
Oh, sweat bee?
Yeah.
Come here, let's see it.
I need to go to the ER.
Oh gosh. Riley, go put the torches and the nitrogen up. And when you do, get the emergency kit out of the back so we can stitch Johnny up over here. We don't have to stitch him up.
Alright, I'm going to get in here and do this real quick.
Alright, well, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to get this sensing bulb all tied up for us. Send Riley down there with a little bit of Armaflex. Actually, when you get done there, you go down with a little bit of Armaflex. Hello?
I'm listening. I'm just looking at the wire.
And let's get the Armaflex and everything tidied up on this air handler and looking great. I'm going to go down here and mount the sensing bulb on it, and other than that, it should be ready to roll.
Hey, you said send him down with Armorflex?
And I said, when you get done doing that, you bring Armaflex and tape down
Okay.
and do that part.
Alright.
We want it to look real good. And I'll tell you what, this thing has been sucking down super duper quick, bro. Super duper quick. Yeah, I mean, it's already in a high vacuum. Interesting. So we're heading back in here to strap up the sensing bulb. Other than that, I'm gonna send Johnny and Riley in here to just kind of tidy this thing up. We got the vacuum pulling on it. Of course, all of this don't mean a hill of beans if when we fire it up, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. But there was no oil in this evaporator coil down here. We cut it open, checked just to make sure that that wasn't an issue, and it wasn't. We flushed the line sets out just to make sure there was no gunk or junk or obstructions in the line up there. We're currently doing an evacuation on it as we speak. Let's see if I can set this up right here. Yep, sounds good. What we're gonna do now, crap, I didn't bring a tool with me, is get this sensing bulb mounted on here. This is a very interesting little mount that they have provided here. Lots of different opinions as to where one of these good little guys is supposed to be mounted, but I'm from the old school and it's 10 to 2. Every install manual I've ever read is a 10 to 2. Why is that not do that this time? So I had that on there. I got the bulb in it before. Nah, she's still there. So what we'll do here messes. I think I like my wire nut or wire tie special a lot better than this. And this is why people don't use bulbs. I mean, the old ones are bad enough, but goodness gracious, this thing, you cut your finger off before you can get it there. It's like a belt, a very bad one. So, as you can see, we're gonna have that on there 10-2. Riley, can you go bring me a Phillips head, Bubba? Phillips head screwdriver. Phillips head screwdriver. Did you get your low voltage in, Johnny? Well, you quick nowadays, man.
Yeah, I got my head on straight today.
Get your head on. Yeah, good. Finally.
It just takes a couple of days, I get 3 or 4 days.
Got a good day with you in here, buddy. I got a good day. I think this is the only problem. Yeah, I gotta get that tightened down first. Let me tighten it down. I got this thing's like a belt buckle or something. It's like a belt buckle. And you just tighten that, and then you should be able to tighten that up in there, and then we'll put this wrap around it, this insulation tape. And I think our autoflex will just go like that. But I want you to tape it up. Exactly. I want you to tape it up right there. I'm trying not to move that too much. Riley's got my screwdriver. Yeah, that's like at a 10 or a 2, you see. We always want that right on a 10 or 2. Brought me along, didn't you know? Good man, actually, on that one. Alright, so yeah, that's the thing I don't like about that dude, is that it's about as tight as it'll go. It's like a belt loop. You just pull it through the belt loop and then you bend it backwards.
My question is, why do we need 2 of these? One here and one inside the condenser unit.
2 what, where?
TXVs?
Yeah.
You saw a TXV in the condenser out there?
Yeah.
I didn't see one.
Also,
Oh, maybe in the new one. Maybe in the new one. But that was a very good question, to be honest with you. But I was thinking about that old one that we was looking at, Riley. It actually had a piston in it.
yeah,
The new one probably does have a TXV in it. But point being is that this is a heat pump. So your question is a very good question. Listen, and so I can explain and you'll understand. When we're running in the cooling mode, the refrigerant is running that way.
It's going.
And it's metering into there, okay? Remember I showed you that piston earlier, because I want you and Johnny to both understand this. It's a very critical thing about a refrigeration circuit. The simplest point to tell you is real quick, is that our system is a heat pump. So we've got refrigerant going both ways through here. And in fact, this is a cold suction line in the cooling, but in the heat, it's a hot discharge line, okay? So that should trigger you to think about this. Let's start with how the piston works. Remember I told you there's a slot inside there where this moves back and forth, okay? When it hits the front, because refrigerant's going through that way, it seats to that right there. You see that seal around it right there? So it seats, Jonathan. I want you to be paying real close attention and understand what I'm talking about here.
Right.
So the refrigerant is forced to go through that one small little hole right there. It can't get around these cracks around the outside because it's seated right there. You see, it's forced to go through that hole, okay? But then when the refrigerant starts pumping the other way, this back seats and it checks in that way. okay? So that then refrigerant can flow through all of those little slots around the piston and just simply backflow. We don't want it to meter that way. We want it to meter through the hole when we're in the cooling mode. When we're in the heat mode, we want it to just simply flow back out this liquid line. This liquid line outside is going to connect to the exact thing you just said, another expansion valve or piston. This new unit looks like it's got an expansion valve in it, if that's what you've seen out there, because something has to meter the refrigerant into what is now the evaporator in the heat mode. You see, in the heat mode, that is your evaporator out there. In the cooling mode, this is your evaporator. So we have to have a TXV on both systems. If that was just a straight cooling unit out there, if we had a gas furnace in here and that outdoor unit wasn't a heat pump, it was a straight cooling unit, it wouldn't have a metering device on it.
Right.
You understand? Because it's just a condenser. We only meter into the evaporator coil. And if you got a heat pump, then in the cooling, this is the evaporator, and in the heat, that's the evaporator. Okay? This is always your liquid line though.
Yeah.
I've explained that to y'all. The liquid either runs this way or it runs that way. The line that connects your evaporator to your condenser is called your liquid line. And it's always your liquid line. Why are you yawning so much over there? Is this boring to you?
No, I don't know.
Oh, well, this is stuff you need to learn, son. It's critical stuff that you need to learn. All right, so let's get this piece of insulation tape over here.
Over here yawning every 30
this
seconds.
is like critical, dude. And it's stuff you don't completely understand yet, and I need you to. I mean, you got a little bit of an understanding of it, but we need you to get to where you understand it like it's just clockwork. Why are we using a TXV out there? That's a very good question. Very good question. So now that we got that like that, I'll strap that. That's on there really super duper tight. That's not going nowhere. That's on there super duper tight now. Now we can do what I was talking about and just simply armaflex this up to here. Up to here. We got the vacuum pulling out there, don't we? Yep. There you go. Just take it all back. Now make it look nice and neat. Okay. I already put that door, the filter door, back on there for us. Okay. So we're gonna take all that up and around there. Beautiful. Okay. Make it look gorgeous. All right. Jonathan, if you yawn again, you're fired. Okay? You had plenty of, no, you didn't have plenty of sleep last night. You stayed up all night at poker.
I was in bed by 10:30.
Oh, well, that's pretty late for you. Usually you're in bed about 7 o'clock. You're like the old man.
I woke up this morning. I didn't want to get up.
Yeah. Well, what I want you to do is make all that look gorgeous, okay? And then I want you to plug that air handler back in. I want you to plug that air handler back in, make it all look beautiful and gorgeous. And here in 1 second, we're gonna be ready to roll again. Gonna be ready to roll. Hopefully take 2 is gonna be better than take 1. Alrighty, people. Well, that's how it goes in the real world. We got the system evacuating. We got Johnny and Riley in there prettying up everything. Got our sensing bulb mounted for our new TXV. We're cooking. And it's a good thing because this is really additional time into a job that we didn't account for. So we want to try to get this done as easily and gently as we can on the customer. But this is a good thing to bring up, man. There are times when you're out here working and servicing heating and air conditioning systems where, you know, if you encounter problems like this that, you know, are from problems from a manufacturer or a compressor manufacturer or accumulator whatever it is that they've got going on in here. I mean, there's one thing to want to accurately diagnose problems and accurately solve problems without costing clients extra time or money, but sometimes saving the time and the money actually requires you to be a little bit more broader with a diagnosis. So whereas we probably could have continued on and on and on trying to determine exactly what that was, which by the way, I think it's the accumulator. We're not getting refrigerants sucking out of that first accumulator into the second accumulator. But regardless, you could sit out here and try to call Goodman Service Support, wait on your distributor to get a FSR out here, but these things require lots of time, lots of money. And so unless we're talking about a 25-ton system, then most of the time on something this small, you've got to make decisions quicker than that. You can't put 3 or 4 or 5 weeks worth of time into a little 2-ton system here, or else it would cost the customer, an outrageous price. So thankfully Goodman stepped up on this and just allowed us to swap out this outdoor unit, because I think they know that they've had enough failures out of these twin rotaries from 2021 that the easiest thing for us to get this customer satisfied, and without us, putting in tons of labor on a system that we didn't install, was to just give us a new system. So thankfully they have. Right now, Uncle Kid's about to take a little quick water break. We've got the system evacuating. Jonathan and Riley finishing up downstairs. I got to make a couple calls, and we'll show you the finish up on this one. All right, so we have got this system fired back up, and right off the jump, you can see our pressures. They're just a completely different thing. Before, at a 300 PSI, we're running a 75 PSI over here, which is a 10-15 degree coil. We've got it fired back up. We're going to check our charge, superheat, subcooling, but yeah, just on the initial startup, I can tell that we're doing much better. Our compressor is actually getting the refrigerant back to it. There's no icing on these lines. And that again is a scroll compressor in this new system with an accumulator on it. So it looks like we have got our problem solved. We're running behind on our schedule today, so we're going to do everything we can do to get this dude running, taped up, fixed up, and get out of here. So we've had it running for about 10-15 minutes now. We're down to about a 12 degree superheat, which is definitely in the range of where we want to be. We have no ice up on our compressor. We're going to swap over now, do a little subcool check on this thing. These Goodmans do not give a recommended subcool, and typically though they do have this chart, and most of the time they're usually, I'm thinking, a 5 to 6. Superheat is 14 and 17. Superheat is less than 7. Add refrigerant to attain 7 to 9 degrees. Subcooling. So yeah, you can see, you can't see on their chart here. Yeah, but their chart basically calls for a 7 to 9 degree subcooling. A 7 to 9 degree subcooling. But I will tell you, it's very difficult to get the right subcooling on one of these Goodmans. Typically, if I'm within a 5 to 10, I feel good about it. Right now, we're at about a 4, 3 or 4. Did we get everything taped up down there? Line set, looking good, beautiful. All right, well, let's go ahead and put the doors on everything. Riley, grab us a sticker. Put this new sticker on our door right here. Okay? Yep, stick it right there. Johnny, let's watch that subcool for another minute or two. And if it stays right around where it's at, we'll put a little bit of juice. Was this the other dolly right here?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah. Well, looks like we have definitely found another resolution, as we like to say here at Complete Comfort Solutions, for these people. Now they can get back to doing their regular business, which, of course, like I said, one of the craziest things that I've seen on a call yet, due to the fact this thing is a bit oversized. I mean, the place was 68 degrees when we got in here today. But there's no doubt the condenser had a problem. There's, potential for it to break down while she's got a lot of clients and customers in there. Most of the time she doesn't, but it just needed to be resolved. It's short cycles. It was kicking out on them. There were times in there where it had completely shut down and just wasn't cooling. So we've done the right thing. We've got a little backup from Goodman. They gave us a new unit on the for the solution to the problem. We popped that in, TXV, flushed the line sets, and now we're feeling like a big dog. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to give you more videos and more content, but we got to know people's watching out there. So thumbs up, subscribe to the page. We'll talk soon.